have a special guest, Alan Quintanero, and Anthony is co-hosting with us today. Alan, thanks for coming on the show. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to have this conversation today. I know Anthony is too. That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
I appreciate you guys having me. We love what you guys have built.
No, I appreciate you contributing as a whole in any way, shape, or form. And I think it's cool to see young killers kill it in the land game. So I don't want to dwell too much on it, but how old are you and how long you been in real estate? And how'd you get into real estate?
Yeah, so I am 22 years old. I just turned 22 last month. I have been in real estate since I was about 17 years old.
Okay.
I was in high school. School really wasn't my thing. So I found out about wholesaling. I went to an event and met a mentor, older guy, and he kind of took me under his wing and just kind of taught me a bunch of the basics and the fundamentals. So started off like doing some driving for dollars while I was in senior year, before the holiday break, and sent some mailers out, ended up getting a probate deal, and closed it like the second semester of senior year. So I was like, man, I found it. This is it. I'm gonna do everything in my power. I'm gonna, risk anything. I'm gonna give it what it takes to make sure I figure this thing out, especially after that first check. Yeah, I ended up finding land maybe 2.5 years ago, and here we are, close to over 100 deals later for sure. Yeah.
Okay, nice, man. One thing I really want to mention too is we haven't had very many people hit their first deal before they graduated high school. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. I
That's freaking
appreciate
amazing,
it.
bro. That's super badass, man. What event did you go to, or how did you end up in this real estate event? You're in high school. You just heard about an event from somebody. You saw a flyer, Facebook. How'd you end up at an event at that
Yeah.
age?
So Grant Cardone was coming to Houston for free. Uh, and I just came. He went out there. I seen him talk, and it was a room full of people that were new, people that were experienced, and the one person I ended up having to sit next to, he was pretty much like a teacher, mentor, and would kind of take people on under the wing. So I just felt like I was meant to be in that room sometimes when I think back on it.
Alignment 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
no. I always like see, you see that like divine coincidence, like synchronicity. My dad says God incidents, so no wrong place at the wrong time. Right, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
No, that's cool, man. That's cool. I've been in real estate as long as us. I think if you think about it, 5 years in the game. We just we
Yeah.
just we just found, we found land sooner. I guess that's the
Yeah.
first one to get in there.
Hey,
Um,
yeah. How did you gravitate towards land, man, instead of like houses or multifamily and all that?
Yeah. So, just to kind of make it quick, because it could be a long story, of course.
for sure.
Uh, you know, after that first deal, I spent, months and months, learning how to market. So SMS, cold call, and I was generating leads, but I didn't have a CRM. So then, they were just going to waste. So, I kind of learned the how to communicate with sellers and kind of the process of generating leads. So I went a whole year without a contract. Yeah, it was a
Whoa.
lot. Yeah, it was targeting houses, but I wasn't organized, right? So I was learning a lot of things. So, but it was a year. I wouldn't even say it was a year of failure. It was a year of learning the business, and
Mm-hmm.
I like exactly a year later is whenever it clicked. I started getting contracts, and um, yeah, I ran into land. I would say because my partner AJ, um, he told me about it, what he was doing. I looked at the numbers and like how many mailers it took to get to a deal, and we started off with just like very simple in the neighborhood type of lots. He would send offer letters. And he showed me like, hey, look, we sent this much mail. There's how many contracts we got, and I was like, why don't we just do that instead? Because the house is, we're not getting anywhere near that, and we pretty much built a pipeline up. I was spending, consistently, I would say like $600 to $800 a week, just consistently dropping mail. And at that time, we were building a pipeline up. We probably were getting about 2 to 5 contracts a week. And yeah, so after that, I realized that land can be more of like I kind of seen it as like an assembly line where, we could just keep tossing the same type of inventory down the line, and we could do volume that way instead of houses where you run into so many issues and there's so many variables.
So you're
Um,
doing you were doing a lot of smaller land deals.
Yeah, and that's still kind of like our bread and butter. That's kind
Mhm.
of what our normal everyday deal looks like. Anywhere from like 30 to 150,000 purchase price. And then you just buy at 50% or less. And owner finance, we doing owner finance too.
Dude, it's owner financing at your age, you're doing, you said 2 to 5 deals a week at your high point. How many deals are you doing a month right now?
A month right now, we're kind of jumping between like the 3 and 6 range.
Dude, that's
And
beautiful, dude. Beautiful, man. It's
at
crazy.
an all-time high, yeah, we've had some pretty decent months where like on the small transaction side, we would get from like 140, 180. And then we had a couple deals where I think, I shared it with you guys. It was like a more of like a Hail Mary type of deal. We bought with hard money. And so, after that one, and I went to you guys' event afterwards, I was like, man, there's some like the profit or the deal size that's in land is you just can't find that in houses. Or I mean, you could probably find it in a couple other asset classes, but it's just at more risk.
Yeah, they're a lot harder to move too, um, from what I've seen. Because then everybody tries to lowball you.
Yeah.
Everybody tries to lowball you. Nah, that's
Yeah.
amazing, man. How big is your team How big is your team right now?
Yeah, so we have me and I handle like acquisitions and like systems and process, kind of like the overview of the team. AJ handles dispositions and TC. He's my partner. We started together. So everything down the line 50-50. And then we have one virtual assistant that works doing acquisitions. He's actually from Houston. He just went back to Mexico and he does really good for us. Um, and we also have marketing director in person, and he's always making sure, marketing always goes out. That's one of the main things that's kind of kept the deal flow. And yeah, we just brought one person in person to do ACK as well. So we're at about like 5 to 6 people. And we just got to this point, right? Before we ran it pretty lean. It was just like 4 guys, and we were at the height of it. That's kind of where we're at about 4 people.
So how do you guys operate? Are you guys, do you do like a four-way split, or do you guys like do like depending on who does acquisitions, who sells it, who finds the buyer, who funds it? What does that look like?
So yeah, it's good. It's changed since we've added people,
Mhm.
and we've grown our team. Like in the beginning, it was real simple. It's just like me and AJ, split whatever down we get. And then as we started to add people, Francisco, who's market director, he pretty much has like an equity stake in the company that, he has a pretty much like the way we see it is, you know, he has ownership to make sure that the marketing goes out, right? But other than that, acquisitions and dispositions, AJ still does most of the dispositions. So, he's a partner and me and him go half. And then acquisition, yeah, pretty much is whatever they actually end up locking up. And that's what they get paid on. Now, as far as like me, I still get on the phone, I still lock up deals, but now I'm trying to get to the point where, kind of handling more of the larger projects like you guys.
Gotcha. No, that's cool, man. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool how far you come in such a short distance because you're very young and you have a lot of potential ahead of you and a lot of opportunity ahead of you too. So I think it's pretty amazing to see.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And like I think I might have spoke to you guys a little bit about this, but at like 15 years old, I started working with Mattress Mac. I don't know if you guys know who he is here in Houston, Texas.
Yeah, I heard of Mattress Mac. Yeah, he's famous.
Yeah. So I actually started working with him at 15, and he taught me like sales. I did everything from like pick up the trash to like mark, the website, sales, and everything you can think of in between.
Mm.
And I learned a lot through there that really helped me kind of advance quicker, and the whole mindset thing that you needed for this stuff, like he really helped me learn and understand a lot of this stuff.
Wow.
And that's amazing, man. That's kind of like the story of the mentor. It takes somebody with the right mindset like yourself to be able to receive the message, but to have such a powerful mentor at such a young age, dude, that's freaking amazing, dude. I think that's everything. And Daniel and myself, like, no matter how far we get in this business, it always comes down to finding the correct mentors and people that'll teach you the game. Like you kind of learn some of it through osmosis. And that's cool, man, that you had that opportunity. That's freaking amazing.
Hmm. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how did you find us? I always like asking this question.
Yeah, that man, how did I find you guys? I want to say the first video I seen was the 350-acre subdivide deal. I think I
Okay.
seen that on YouTube, or that might have been what it was. And I was like, man, that's exactly what I want to do. Like, I want to like, host, subdivide a deal and bring a bunch of people out there the day of, and try to sell them as is, because that just seems like a life that I would love. That's kind of what I had in mind.
That's cool, man. We didn't even post the full video of that. We have like little scattered videos out there all over the place from shorts, but the full video isn't out there yet. We're planning to release 2024. I don't know when we'll release it, but it should be a good little video. The full video.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's cool. Really cool video.
Oh, we did show it at the event. We did show it at the event. I forgot about that. Um, so 5 years in the real estate. How do you source private capital for land? Because I think this is probably one of the pains us as land investors have is sourcing private capital. Are you actually like wholesaling deals now, or are you still wholesaling?
No, so whenever we get something under contract, we start marketing it. We at least try to generate a couple buyer leads.
Mm,
If we do have to close on it, it shortens our hold time like significantly. Sometimes we'll hold it for like a week and then go right back to title and you know uh to get it done quicker. But as far as private money, we have like from the time we started till now, we were using a lot of our own money until we ran into a situation where we got stuck, and that's where we started just kind of getting family and friends. That's really what it all started with. A lot of our friends are really interested in the business. They see what we do. They know that it's profitable and that it's safe. And it's a piece of land. We're getting it at a way below market value, and really just putting out there that what you're doing, and it almost feels like people start to come to you and say, "Hey, like, I see what you're doing. It's cool." And then you just kind of open up that door, and that's kind of what's brought us to some private money. Now we're not, buying, large properties as of now. It's usually like smaller price points, 50% or less, and that's kind of the deals that we do get private money on.
yeah, that makes sense. Go ahead, Anthony.
What'd you say?
I said I telling you we're going to talk.
No, not yet. I'm just picking up my boy, man. So I'm just in the truck right now.
You good, you good. All right. So what do you see in the future, and what are you adjusting to currently in the current market as far as land, and what markets are you targeting as a whole?
Have you guys
Uh,
seen anything in the market, like major market changes? Right, we're in a recession right now. Have you
yeah,
guys felt that in the last year too?
yeah, definitely. The first 6 months of this year was a fight. It was more of like, trying to stay in the game than, striving at that point. I think that's a lot of people might not want to say that, but that's how it was for a lot of people. Um, Now, once the second part of the year came, we started to see more activity from buyers. We started to see people come out the shadows a little bit more. But what we're doing to adjust is definitely, offer terms better now. Offer more terms. Um, and if it's a cash deal, we're not trying to squeeze all the juice out of it. If it's a cash deal, it's more about quick turnover than, getting max, for one parcel.
Yeah, 100%. I think a lot of people, if you're having to put up the cash, don't squeeze as much as you can, because it's always, you might wait longer than you want to, and then you're losing that ROI, and the time kills the deals. One
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
one thing I've noticed too is like we target a lot of MLS stuff, and the longer it sits on the market, the more we're aggressive. So you don't want to let your deal sit on the market that long, or else everybody's aggressive. Everybody starts getting aggressive at that point. If
yeah.
you are if you are put on MLS.
And that's like something that I really took from you guys' event was like we have to stop buying properties as much as we can. We got to start bringing in more partners and just go all in on marketing. So that's kind of what we have switched and what has changed since we went to you guys' event.
Yeah. One thing is it's really I think it's very underrated is that a lot of people that are like investing in real estate and like raising capital for real estate, they don't have deal flow. They don't have deal flow. And I think it's one of the cool things to say about land is that there's always huge opportunity to find, even if it's $100,000 deal, you can find that 50 cents on the dollar pretty easily. And it's pretty abundant. And there's a lot of opportunities like that. So I think there's a huge upside if you know what you're doing and know how to market. And I think knowing how to market is probably the biggest thing.
Hey,
Yeah.
how are you, is mailers your primary marketing source right now?
Right now, what we're doing is focusing like on the core three. So it'd be like cold call, SMS, and mail. Now, last year, mail really worked well for us. Um, the first half of this year, we're definitely seeing like a shift in it. So we took a pause for some time. And then, with launch control having all those issues this year, we wanted to like add cold call just because, it was a pain, probably like an entire quarter throughout the year. So 3 months or so, our launch control was down. So, that's 3 months of marketing. That's a lot of time over the year.
Yeah. How fast do you turn out land deals? I think a lot of people have like a skepticism. Like houses you have to turn over in 30 days. With land, we're probably like, especially smaller stuff, you're probably like 60, 90 days or less. What's your
Yeah,
turnover for like
I
for
would probably say, yeah, I would probably say, right now, maybe like around 45 days, 30 to 45 days in that time frame.
okay, that's not bad. Yeah, we the larger deal flow you're going into like 6 months.
Yeah, so that's kind of what happened to me on one this year that we had bought. It was literally like 368 days, and we had hard money on it. It was a
The
pretty tough to
longest
hold it.
the longest 368 days of your life.
Yeah, I was counting by the day.
Yeah, yeah, it happens. It happens like that. We have a deal closing. It was supposed to close early December, and then we got a text this morning that we're delayed another week. And we're like, next week's Christmas. Like, we're trying to get this deal done before the end of the year. Like, and I've been working on this deal since June, so I'm just like, man, it was like mid-June when we closed on it, and we've been working on this probably since May. So it's just been time waiting, and
Yeah,
more wait.
you have to be patient, and one thing that I have trouble with. Sometimes I'm want to just keep going, but sometimes you have to just write it out.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique niche in that way, but you just gotta wait more. You gotta wait more. That's
Ye-
all it is. But the spreads are a lot bigger. So let's break your little let's dump on some house people for a second. So what's your average, not necessarily assignment because sometimes you have to close on it, but what's your average deal size when you're under that 100,000 or less? How much are you making on those deals?
So, if it's like a $50,000 property, typically we'll probably be buying it for about anywhere. We've bought properties like that for 15 to $25,000. So, anywhere within that spread of 25 and maybe $35,000 on a $50,000 type of property. Now, if you start looking at terms as an option, the profit size increases way more. You just have to make sure you get them at the right price to be able to either tie it up, or now we're looking at a couple different ways that we could, structure some of these notes.
So for people out there that average $20,000 assignment fee in houses, all I have to do is go for $50,000 or more land properties, and they can essentially make more.
Yeah. The thing I like about it is that like there's more people who would probably want a piece of land than would want to just buy a house for like there's less investors than there is retail buyers in general. That's how I feel about it. So, that $50,000 property, there's probably way more people open to buying it than, just a house that, maybe only a flipper or a long-term hold investor or somebody looking to own a house and live in it, but that's kind of what we like love land too.
Yeah, that smaller, as long as I hate deals that are like under 25,000 because it feels like there's no juice in the squeeze. Like
Yeah.
it's not even worth the effort, and there's still a lot of things that go on even in every deal that you do, even if it's worth 10,000 or 50,000. So you might as well go after the bigger stuff.
I agree. Yeah.
Hey man, I think I heard about it already, and I'm pretty sure I got a pretty good guess of what the number is. But biggest deal size, the most profit you've ever made on one deal?
It was 267. So yeah, that was still, we talked about that one. Yeah. Um,
Yeah. Tell us a little bit
so
about that deal if you can, man.
yeah, sure. So that was one that brought a lot of stress to us. So,
More money, more problems.
yeah. So this was, one of the first times we ended up buying a property that was, well over the 150K mark. So we sent a mailer to it. We sent an offer in the mail for 350. Um, it was like an outlier. We were really going for like half acre lots in this neighborhood, but this 11-acre parcel popped up and we priced it right. The guy got the letter. So at the time we had an act guy go out there with AJ. They locked it up for 320, so they got him a little bit cheaper. And we actually assigned it whenever we were under contract, and we were supposed to make like 280, right? It was supposed to be a quick, easy deal where were the most we ever made at the time. And the buyer was just taking too long. They're like, we got to create an entity, an LLC, and they killed 2 weeks. And they said they were going to put up earnest. They didn't put up earnest. So we wasted about like 6 weeks messing with this buyer. So we look at the deal, the appraisal comes back at 900,000, and we're like, man, we might as well buy it. Like, let's just go for it. It's a safe deal. We really can't lose. So we got hard money on it. We probably came to the closing table was like 20 grand. I had a $3,200 monthly payment. And yeah, so $3,200 a month plus, your regular expenses, living, eating, it added up, pretty crazy, pretty quick too. So the beginning of the year comes, we actually sold it pretty quick on the market for full asking. It was like 800,000 was the price we sold it for. Well, this other buyer was supposed to put earnest too, but he like disappeared off the face of the earth. Like he said he was in Europe. He sent the wire. The wire bounced for the earnest, and we never heard from the broker or the person again. So there's more time wasted,
Yep. Damn.
So
talk about it.
yeah. So we move, as this all happens, we're in, last year around the same time of this year, holiday season, rates start to rise. And, all the developers that were looking at it started to pass on it. And they said they're going to hold out. So, we went a couple months holding it, found a buyer, sometime in the summer. And then we ended up closing like in August. But this deal, it really ran us dry. Like, I thought you could, I never knew you could go broke waiting for a payday, but we were pretty damn close.
3,200 a month. That'll do it. That'll do
Yeah.
it.
And
Going broke. That's gonna be the title right there. Going broke waiting for a payday.
Yeah, but it was a good payday. It wasn't like, we were broke. We just had all of our cash tied up.
Yep.
And bills don't stop coming. So, we end up thank goodness we end up actually hitting for an assignment in that same neighborhood for like 70,000 a month before we end up closing that one. And we closed that one, got all our money back, 267 profit. Everybody had a nice, check, and we just let's keep rocking after that, and we just moved on.
Dude, what a beautiful story, man. Those deals, I mean, they're out there, but they don't come along as often as you'd like to see them, man. So congrats, that's freaking amazing, man. And sticking with it too. How did you find a hard money guy? Is that somebody you already had business with? Because a lot of hard money guys don't like land.
Yep.
Yeah, we had to call a lot of people, had to go through a lot of people to find, the guy, and actually met this guy at Donovan Ruffin Mastermind. And he really, he connected us to the guy and got us to Linden quick, easy, fast, and we moved on. We were supposed to assign it to ourselves and make a little bit, but we messed up on some paperwork and didn't do it right.
Yeah, you live and you learn, man.
Yeah.
Daniel and myself, we've been through the school of hard knocks this year. We got some legal stuff going on with some properties now, so we're learning a lot right now. I got served with a Liz Pendens yesterday, and now you're supposed to like cease communication, hire an attorney. But I'm like, man, I already been through this enough times. I kind of know what like the lingo. I know what the steps are. So I'm continuing to talk to the guy, and I think we're about to put it. I think we're about to put a deal together. But I was like, I've learned enough this year to know, like, hey, I kind of know how to navigate through this right now, and chew through all the meat without even going to court. So I think we're about to put a deal together, even with that list pendants in place. So I would recommend anybody does that's listening to this. But yeah, you live and you learn, man, and there's no other way to do it.
Yeah, I don't think there is any other better way to learn either. You have to actually go through the motions to feel what's how it feels to go through some of this stuff.
To feel the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike Flores and myself have been talking about that a lot lately, after some of the things that have happened this year. And I'm like, dude, it's like you just pay to go to college, right? But there's no college for this. You actually have to be in the trenches. And if you lose a little money, it costs you a little money for an attorney, whatever it is. It's like, now you got game now, you got school now, and you have to learn, you got to pay to play.
Yeah, I agree. Sure.
No, it's real estate and land has just been an interesting game, and we've been learning for a long time. And it goes really good too, because now we're using that with our lenders. Like, yeah, we've learned enough for now. We've learned enough. I think we're now ready to go. We're now ready to go to the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way to learn, man. And Daniel and myself, we're very trusting. We just think that everybody's on our side and everybody's gonna work with us. Everything's gonna go good. Everything goes amazing. But there's some sharks out there, man. They try to get you, catch you slipping. They try to get you like on a sheet of paper. You miss one little thing, one line, anything, and they'll try to get you. So now we're gonna be. I think from here forward, we're gonna start playing a lot more defense.
Yeah.
I think we need to Google every buyer that we contract, especially on bigger properties, just to make sure how many lawsuits they got.
Start researching the buyers and the sellers first.
Start researching the buyers and the sellers, because that's what
Yeah.
happened with this buyer we're dealing with right now that sort of those pendants. Apparently, he's suing like a bunch of other people, so he's up there like all over the internet for suing a bunch of other people. So
Yeah. Sometimes all you need is a Google search. I'm pretty sure you could have found it all out, right?
Yeah, dude. I tell you, I'll teach you something right now. When you're doing the smaller deals, right, like 100 and below, 100 grand, 200 grand, easy peasy, man. Once you start getting deals that are over 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, there's a lot of sharks up there, bro. Yeah, and they're vicious. Like, they're not your friend. So you got to make sure your paperwork is super tight. Everything you say by email, by text is super tight, because said you think you're doing a regular smooth transition on a deal that's 100 grand, 120 grand, done this 100 times, but it's a $3 million deal, man, and the fangs come out, bro. You're like, oh shit, I haven't seen this before. So it's a whole different ballgame.
What are the couple things that you kind of running into, with dealing at those price points?
For one, dates, right? So if you have a date that says, hey, we're closing on this date, and you don't have any kind of extension clauses or option clauses or anything for a way to extend, you're dead in the water, man. Because on a multi-million-dollar deal, everybody's more careful, the lenders more careful, more careful. Those can drag it out. It's like you got a little $100,000 deal, and hey, it's coming up on the extension date Tuesday. Hey, sir, I'm gonna need to close Wednesday, and okay, a little big deal on the $2 million deal. It ain't gonna work.
Yeah,
Close
yeah,
Tuesday, or right, we're going to court now.
yeah, and I'm
That's
pretty sure
one.
it'd be.
Having yeah. Well,
you're breaking up a little bit, Anthony. One thing I'll say is the paperwork.
I didn't hear what Alan said.
I was gonna say. Now honestly, I forgot. I was waiting for Daniel. I got lost.
Different pain points. You kind of broke up a little bit at the end, Anthony. But paperwork's
Okay,
probably
I'm back in that same spot where I was breaking up last time.
yeah. Paperwork, timelines, everything's got to be on. You have to be on your toes with everything, because everybody's watching. And then I think he was trying to say before he cut out was there's a lot of money usually at stake, so people are usually willing, like, hey, contract's over, like you didn't abide by your timeline. So people are more they're more obeisant to the timelines that are allotted. And if you don't just stick to the timelines or voice your concerns about the timelines, they don't care.
Yeah.
They'll find another buyer. So I think it's understanding everything that you're talking about. And this is what we always try and tell our students too, like, if it's seven-figure more deal, and if you haven't done it before, please work with somebody on it because, like I said, there's sharks up here and they will sue you. They will sue you. So we want to make sure that if you are going to up in those waters and don't have experience, make sure you at least have somebody's help who's done it before, because um, you definitely know what to look for and know what to look out for, because people are gonna, and you always want to ask for everything up front that you think you're gonna need. Try and get all your terms up front that you're asking for throughout the whole transaction on day one versus day 90 or day 120 or 10 days before your contract expires, you know?
Yeah.
You always want to be as upfront as possible when you're coming into this stuff.
And I
Yes.
feel like at like that price point, it's just a lot easier to be clear with these people because, like today, for example, I went to go to a property that's like 174 acres. And, I explained kind of how, you guys started the event. Like, this is what I want to do. This is what I plan on doing. I'll probably sell a couple lots and then, pay you up front, your whole down payment out of that. And, he was completely cool with it. He understood the thing. And he said, he felt like, he was talking about how other people came by and they were just suit and tie kind of people, but he just felt more comfortable and he trusted me without, he said they were like pulling up in private jets and nice cars. He's the guy in the middle of the country.
Yeah, these sellers, they want to sell to local people. They don't want to sell to foreign people from California like me. They don't want to sell to people. They don't want to sell to foreign entities. So if you come in with jeans and a t-shirt, they're like, okay, this guy's he's legit, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
You get a lot more respect from the rancher that way.
For sure, for sure.
174 acres. What part of town?
That is north of Houston, northeast of Houston, in like the Montgomery County.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
I was looking at a deal. I looked at like two deals in the last week north of Houston. I can't remember where they're at. I look at random deals.
it might have been mine. I shot it over to Andrew too. Actually, I think he told me he was gonna take a look at it.
Maybe
But
this one I looked at. I looked at a lot of deals, man.
I know, yeah. Like people call me and they're like, "Hey, did you check out the deal?" Like, you got to start from scratch.
Where can where are you buying deals and where can people send you deals if they want to send you a deal?
I am buying in Houston, surrounding areas, Dallas, surrounding areas, and you can send me deals on Instagram. I'm always on Instagram. Talking to people, chatting with people who want to learn about land. And that is ALANH Quintero, QUINTERO, and just first name H Quintero, last name, and yeah, I should pop up.
There you go. What is a quote that is yours or somebody else's that you resonate with?
Let's see. One time Mac told me, he's like, if you want something in this life, you have to be willing to give your life up for it. And he told me, he's like, uh, I gave him up my life for this shit. And he like slammed his fist on the desk. He was talking about his business and how far he's come. Which is true. He's worked 7 days a week for 40 years. He's a hardworking guy. And, being at that and I hear that and I'm like, wow, like it really like gave me chills. I always get chills when I think about that.
Yeah, Mattress Mac, I definitely get I've never met the guy. I've seen some videos online of him, but I've definitely seen some he's definitely seems like the guy that he's worked 7 days a week for his whole life. His whole
Yeah, yeah. They do like really, really big numbers there. And he's a great operator for sure.
I mean, he leads from the front. I think is the best thing about it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So I'm sure I'm like even me thinking about that, you probably learned a lot of leadership from Mattress Mac because he was in the trenches.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, dude, he would do anything from pick up the trash to, greet a customer and walk to the back and take care of the, warehouse people, help them out. And he was, 70, 72, 73 years old. He's still outworking me, getting up earlier, leaving later. And it was just like, it's inspiring.
Is
Hey
there
man,
go
I
ahead,
was gonna
Anthony.
say, yeah. Do you have a word of advice for someone who's young out there who's just getting started? And what would you do over if you could do it over again? Like, what's the shortcut from just wanting to start learning wholesaling and starting on the journey to getting to the next level? Like, what would you say that the catalyst is for that?
This is not a sales pitch. I would definitely, not even lying, if I was new, I had to start from scratch, I would probably be working hand in hand with you guys. Because, you have the experience behind you, you have private money behind you, you have bigger deals that you can go after right out the gate. And I think that's an issue that, sometimes starting out, people go where they think that, they can afford to buy properties. But if you shoot high and you get into these bigger deals, in the beginning, and you get a partner with, you guys, you don't have to wait till the end to get paid. You get paid probably a little earlier if you don't want to take it all the way. But, there's just so much more value. I think I would probably go that route, honestly.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, man. Yeah, thank you for saying that. Like we talked about at the beginning of the call, me and Daniel were really big on mentorship. So if it's not us, even somebody like yourself, you gotta follow somebody who knows more than you in the beginning until you kind of grow your own wings. And the way you guys are putting a team together, that's beautiful, man. That's what it's all about, is finding the right people to work with, and it makes your life so much easier. Everybody wants to be a lone wolf and kill it, and I'm going to show everybody. And I think that's a wrong mentality, man. Just be humble and get behind somebody that knows what the hell they're doing. And I think that's the shortcut too, man.
Yeah, and I think my thing is, I'm not really trying to be the Michael Jordan of land. I'm maybe like the coach in the back, like putting everything together. It's kind of more of my personality.
No, I think you can take the land game to different levels, and you can just be an operator and just do good deals for however long you want to do it for, and make a lot of money and do it that way. And then you can teach and educate, and then you can coach and speak and all this stuff about it. Like, there's different levels to it, and you don't just have to go all that far if you don't want to. In due time, you'll find your place.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thanks for coming on, Alan. I really appreciate your time, and I hope a lot of people learn some stuff about land and opportunities in land, and that you can do it at a young age and kill it, just like Alan here. So I hope you
Hey, man,
inspire.
how old were you when you did that 267 deal?
I was 21. I was 21.
That's what we're gonna call this one. 267,000 at 21 years old. Congrats, man. That's kick-ass, dude.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you guys so much for having me. What you guys built, like I said, it was an amazing thing, and I hope we can do some deals together, man. I'm shooting
I feel
Cindy
it.
out some stuff.
2024, man. We're gonna do a lot of business together. I feel it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. You know what to do. Go like, share, subscribe, share with a friend. We'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
If you would like to receive hot leads right to your cell phone in a text message, check out hiveleads.io, and you can receive the same leads we've been receiving in our campaign for 3.5 years that's made us successful in the land game. Check us out.